Hey, welcome back to Hot Dog Sports. This video is part of our series focused on the 2021 depth charts of all 30 Major League Baseball teams. We do this in preparation for the 2021 Major League Baseball Fantasy Baseball regular season. This is what we specialize in. We want to determine which players will be playing regularly, where they will be playing in the batting lineup or the rotation, and should we pick them up for our fantasy team. Today we're going to look at the San Diego Padres. Should be a fun season for them. Before we begin, take a look down below and please subscribe to my channel so you can stay in touch and not miss any of the action. I will see you on the other side of the introduction, and don't forget, watch on. The San Diego Padres should be an exciting team to watch this season, and if everything falls into place, they could compete for the World Series championship. The Padres have a team of some very talented young players, experienced but not over-the-hill veterans, and they were very active in picking up some key players this offseason in hopes of putting them over the top. As a baseball fan, I loved watching them last season, as you can tell from my Slam Diego t-shirt. It should be a fun year if they can build on last season's success. So let's get started by talking about the starting rotation. 3 of the 5 starters listed in as rotation were picked up this offseason: Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Joe Musgrove. As I said, the Padres were active. In addition to these 3, San Diego picked up Mike Clevinger from the Indians last season, but unfortunately he is injured. Yu Darvish is coming off his best season as an MLB pitcher, and he was runner-up for the Cy Young Award in the National League. He had a minuscule ERA of 2.01 and a WHIP of .961 with 93 strikeouts over 76 innings. Second in the rotation is Blake Snell, who was the 2018 Cy Young Award winner in the American League. He comes from the Tampa Bay Rays, who represented the American League in the World Series last season. In the third spot is Dinelson Lamet, a very talented but often injured young pitcher. He is currently out with a bicep injury that kept him from competing in the playoffs last season for the Padres. Rounding out the staff are Joe Musgrove and Chris Paddock. They have a very strong starting rotation, and don't discount Musgrove and Paddock. If they get their starts, they will be dark horses for any fantasy team in baseball. Let's take a look at the position players. For me, this is where the fun of the team is. At catcher is Austin Nola, backed up by Victor Caratini. Nola has some pop in his bat, and Caratini came to the Padres as part of the Yu Darvish deal. He was a backup to Wilson Contreras with the Cubs. At first base is Eric Hosmer, who is an incredibly steady factor both offensively and defensively. At only 31, he is a very young veteran, having played with the team that won the World Series, Kansas City Royals, in 2015. At second base is Jake Cronenworth, the runner-up to Rookie of the Year last season as a Padre. He came to the Padres from the Rays along with Tommy Pham in December of 2019. He also backs up many positions for the team and could get a lot of playing time in 2021. He is a player one should keep an eye on for fantasy baseball. The strength of the team and the most important players for the team's success are on the left side of the infield, with recently well-paid shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. and third baseman Manny Machado. Tatis is arguably an MVP candidate in 2021. In 2020, he was second in runs, second in home runs, fourth in RBIs, and fourth in stolen bases in the National League. And even though he signed the third largest contract in MLB history, behind Trout and Betts, he doesn't seem to be a player that would be too fazed by undue pressure. Speaking of players who don't seem to be the type to back down, Manny Machado came to the Padres after playing for the Dodgers at the end of 2018. He was third in the National League MVP tally just last season, but he even had laser eye surgery during the offseason. He will be a player to be reckoned with in 2021 as well. In the outfield, there are three very good players: Tommy Pham, Trent Grisham, and Wil Myers. Myers had one of his best seasons last year and is a veteran on the team. I can never forget Trent Grisham when he was with the Brewers and stepped into right field when Christian Yelich got hurt for the end of the 2019 season. He was phenomenal. I would keep an eye on Tommy Pham, though, for fantasy baseball. When he is healthy, he can hit for average, hit for power, and he has speed to steal bases, score runs, and a lot of total bases. He hits many of the necessary categories for fantasy baseball. I list him as a sleeper candidate. The Padres have also built a strong bullpen. For fantasy, the two pitchers to keep an eye on are Melancon and Drew Pomeranz. Both veterans with possibly save opportunities, also strikeouts, and a lot of positive innings as relievers. Melancon could end up with a lot of saves just for the sheer fact that he is the closer on a team that's going to win a lot of games. So which players are best for your 2020 fantasy team? Well, number one, you must keep an eye on Fernando Tatis. Shortstop will play a lot of innings, a lot of games, get a lot of at-bats. He's right in the middle of the lineup, and he's an MVP caliber player. So Fernando Tatis Jr. Secondly, Manny Machado. Manny was third runner-up last year in the MVP. He's had his eyes fixed a little bit. It's got to be scary. After the year like last year, now with his eyes a little bit better, he's another MVP candidate at third base. Good position player, great for fantasy baseball. I would then look at the pitchers. You have Yu Darvish and Blake Snell, both part of the rotation, number 1 and 2. Could have huge years with a good team batting behind them. And lastly, Melancon. He can get the saves, and if he can get enough innings under his belt, he can get you some strikeouts and a good ERA at that. These are my picks for fantasy baseball from this team for 2021. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you next time on Hot Dog Sports, where we are keeping you in the game.